How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Barack Obama's appearance on The Breakfast Club. Now, if you don't know who they are, I'll give you a quick rundown, and then we get into Barack Obama. The Breakfast Club is a urban, quote-unquote, radio show, and they've been around for a long time. They've been dipping their toes into politics. Remember the whole thing with I got the hot sauce in my bag from Hillary Clinton in 2016? That was on The Breakfast Club where that little clip came out. And the more recent one, when Joe Biden said, hey, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, that was also on The Breakfast Club. So they have a history of cringy Democrats going on there and saying ridiculous things towards the quote unquote urban community, black community, whatever you want to call it. And here Barack Obama is with yet another zinger for you. Now, throughout this hour or so interview, it was hard to listen to Barack Obama speak. You know, they say that Obama's a great speaker, a great orator. He's an excellent speech reader. Yes, if you got a teleprompter, he'll read the teleprompter the best you ever heard in your life. But as far as being able to speak off the cuff and just being witty and quick on his feet, that's not his strong suit. A bunch of ums and ahs and long pauses. He's not a very good speaker. It was not anything different in this interview. Now, there was one particular part of the interview we got to focus on. And that's him talking about Hispanic evangelicals, because it ties into a lot of what they say about Trump, and a lot of hypocrisy can be revealed once we dig into what he says. Now, before I go any further, let's roll that clip. In this clip, you'll see what I was talking about in some context. After we get done with that, I'll talk about what he said there. Then I give you my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis, and then I wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
There's a lot of evangelical Hispanics who, the fact that Trump says racist things about Mexicans or puts detainees, undocumented workers in cages, they think that's less important than the fact that, he supports their views on, gay marriage or abortion.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, I think the elephant in the room for me is the whole thing about the kids in cages. How can Barack Obama sit there and talk about Trump having the kids in cages? It was Barack Obama who built the cages. I mean, come on. How can you say anything about that? You were doing the exact same thing when you were the president, Mr. Barack Obama. And to those out there that are saying, oh, well, Obama built the cages, but Trump is using them right now and he's putting kids in them. Well, what did Barack Obama do back when he was the president? Did he not use the cages? I remember early in Trump's presidency, in his first term, when they were talking about the whole kids in cages thing, they were showing pictures of, some quote unquote kids, probably some 16-year-olds, but anyway, pictures of so-called kids and these like aluminum floor looking blankets on the ground in the so-called cages. And they were saying, look at this. He's got them in aluminum foil like potatoes in the oven. This is inhumane. This is disgusting. All this, that, and the third. But the pictures were from 2014. Okay. Donald Trump had not announced that he was going to run at all. So how you going to blame Trump for the so-called kids in cages in that picture when it was from 2014 when Mr. Barack Obama was the president with Joe Biden, the current so-called president-elect, allegedly, as a vice president? Okay, they were the ones in charge. And like I said, people say that, yeah, Obama built them, but Trump is using them. But Obama used them because there's pictures, there's evidence to show it. And if it's wrong for Trump to use the cages, then what about Obama? It's all right if he does it. So he could do the exact same thing that Trump does, and it's fine. I mean, the only difference is obviously the R in front of Trump's name and the D in front of Barack Obama's name. That's all that there is to it. Okay? And undocumented workers, how do you know that anybody that's locked up in the cage is a so-called worker? All right? If you got kids in cages, they can't be workers, now can they, Barack Obama? Or do you think that having, 13-year-olds working in the field is fine if they're coming across the border illegally? Because wasn't it Obama that said that the Hispanics were fruit pickers and bed makers? Wasn't it him? And then it goes to my next point about him saying bad things about Mexicans. He was talking about the gang members. The whole, oh, they're rapists and murderers. First of all, let's go back to that particular point in time because we got to clarify that. That's another one of these good people on both sides moments. They're not giving the full context of what was going on, but I'll give you the full context right here. And you can fact check me all you want. I guarantee you that what I'm saying is 1000% correct. Now, he was speaking to people and he was saying, hey, Mexico, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you and you and you, speaking to those in the crowd, upstanding citizens, lawful people, doctors, lawyers, just regular everyday working Joes. They're not sending them. They're sending the scum of society. They're sending their trash upon our shores. The rapists, murderers. Some of them may be good people, but they're sending a lot of bad people. That's exactly what he was saying. Now, the media and the left and guys like Barack Obama want to extrapolate that to say that he was saying all Mexicans are rapists and murderers. Far from it. He's saying that they're not sending us our best. They got good people over there. They have doctors, lawyers, saints, and surgeons. They got these people that exist in the country, but we're getting too many of the bad people, and they're coming across illegally. That's the main thing. We're not even talking about those that come to the country legally that are coming from Mexico. We're talking about the ones that come illegally. So you crossing the border illegally, and you got criminal records, you got all kind of assault against kids and everything else in your background. You got guns and drugs in your background, and you want to come here. That's who he's talking about, sir. So let's have that be straight. Also, Barack Obama is kind of a religious bigot, yes? Now, if you're talking about Islam, it'd be a different story, but I'll talk about that in a minute. As far as Christianity and being evangelical, he's against that. Oh, well, they're willing to just bypass certain things because they care about abortion and all this and that. Well, these are very important things. Gay marriage and abortion, these are very important things. Maybe you're a religious person and you believe in the sanctity of marriage between one man and one woman. Okay. And the same thing about abortion. Maybe you believe, like I do, like millions of Americans do believe, that a baby is a baby regardless of when it's a baby, whether that's 1 month or 8 months gestation. How can you say that a baby that's 1 month gestation is lesser than a baby that's 6 months gestation? You can have babies that are born at 5 months and live. So they talk about, 18 weeks, 19 weeks. Well, how was a baby not a human in 18 weeks, but a human in 19 weeks? At what point did we cross that uncanny valley to non-human to human? I'm trying to figure out how that whole thing works. Maybe the baby is a human from the very beginning, from the point of conception. I believe that, and so do many evangelicals, especially Hispanics. They Catholic, and that's a really big part of their culture. So how are you just going to say that's not really important at all? That's very important to religious people and also maybe to atheists, non-religious people, to believe in the marriage that we have in America being between one man and one woman, and also preserving life of innocent unborn children. These are very important things. Now, like I said, if it's about Islam and some of their core tenets, he'd be a lot less critical. If it's about the modesty of a woman and wearing coverings, he'd be a lot less, critical of that because he identifies with that coming from Indonesia. But different story. I digress. The whole point is that it's okay to be bigoted towards Christianity. It's weird because Christianity and Islam, I won't say they're similar, but they're two main dominant religions in the world. Christianity number one, Islam number two. There are two main religions in the world. You got over 1 billion adherents to each. So why be so favorable to one and not towards the other? Maybe it's because they're anti-American and America was built on Christianity, on Judeo-Christian values. It was not built on Islam and stuff like that. And it's even stranger because a guy like Obama is a war hawk. He has no problem drone striking Gaddafi, the leader of a Muslim nation. That's fine. But at the same time, he'll be talking crazy about Christianity and not about Islam. You're talking with a forked tongue, a double-edged sword. But I'll move on. The whole point is that This guy is a religious bigot, not a very good speaker, a hypocrite, a chameleon, no different than Kamala Harris talking about on the first black president. How are you the first black president when you mix black and white? You're just as white as you are black, in my humble opinion. All right. It doesn't really matter what his identity is. I think he was not a very good president. It was certain points in the interview they were talking about the whole Skip Gates kerfuffle, and the police acted stupidly, and he was trying to justify that, talking about, well, maybe they did. Barack Obama's words mean a lot to a lot of people, and when he says certain things like that, it does a lot of damage. When you attack Christianity, it does a lot of damage. When you attack evangelicals and Hispanics and blacks and whites for voting how they want to vote, it does a lot of damage. I don't think he really cares. But as I close, I want to say this. The interview was trash, not a good speaker, not a lot of points that were made. I'll link to it in the box if you must watch it for yourself. But I warn you, I think you have a better time painting your house and sitting with a nice tall glass of lemonade and watching it dry. You have a much better time than hearing this man whisper for 58 minutes. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Did you enjoy the Barack Obama Breakfast Club interview? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or did you not enjoy it? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. What part of the interview did you enjoy or did you not enjoy? How do you feel about his comments about evangelicals and Christianity and some of the core tenets of Christianity? Do you think that he was being bigoted? And is it okay, according to the left, for him to be bigoted because he's a liberal, he black, allegedly? Is it okay for him to do that? Now, if it were Trump speaking about Islam this way, then you never hear the end of it. If he spoke about Christianity this way, Trump that is, I think he would get a lot of congratulations from the left for being more like them, which is pretty sad. The left used to not be so radical and extreme, but I feel like the largest voices on the left are the extremists. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.